Hello and welcome to another live edition of the Nittany Dispatch. I am John Sauber, Penn State beat writer at the Center Daily Times. She's Audrey Snyder doing the same at her Inside the Lines Substack, which you can find at insidethelines.substack.com, where I highly recommend you subscribe. Audrey, this is it's a familiar outcome in an unfamiliar situation, I guess, for Penn State today.
Yeah, the season, it remains kind of status quo, right? This thing's long gone off the rails. Ohio State thumps Penn State 38-14. At the half, it looked like we were going to maybe get a close game. And I was telling my seatmate, Rich Scarcello, I was like, you know what? I still am feeling pretty good about my blowout pick just because typically the good teams pull away in the second half. And to me, Ohio State certainly looks like a team that is going to go far and that they are poised to try and repeat as national champions, which is obviously easier said than done. And from the Penn State side of it, John, I mean, it's bad. It remains bad. I don't think we're going to see anything really in the next month that's going to change what's on the field. I mean, for all the talk about the vertical passing game, it's non-existent. And they're trying to manufacture creativity and plays with Liam Clifford and this wildcat type usage. And I think this team, they are what they are, and that's winless in the Big Ten. Team that has not won a game since September 13th against Villanova, which admittedly feels very, very long ago.
Well, it was almost 2 months already. And yeah, this is one of the only teams in the country that has not beaten a Power 4 opponent yet this year.
Mm-hmm.
This is, a devastatingly bad season, right? It feels like we come on Postgame every week and have the same podcast, right? Like
it does.
Yes, this was not supposed to be this. This is supposed to be different. But I think this week is a really good example of that. This was supposed to be, and not just, frankly, with Penn State, this was supposed to be one of the best weekends in college football, right? With all the matchups that were ranked heading into the year. And now you look at the schedule, it's like, I guess Vandy, Texas was all right. And even that wasn't a close game, as last I saw at least. And so, yeah, this was supposed to be it. Like, this was supposed to be the big game, the one that Penn State had, they weren't supposed to win it, but if they won it, like, it would mean everything, right? And the Oregon game being the other one that they were more supposed to win. And instead, this just, I don't know, this felt definitely the most meaningless of all of these games I've covered between Penn State and Ohio State. I think this is the seventh one I've covered. And it all felt hollow. It all felt, it felt like it didn't matter. And I think that was, you look post game, Pat Kraft is as fiery as an athletic director as there is in the country, and he's not doing that.
You said fiery as in like, energy, or fiery as in like going to fire some people?
Well, he already did
that.
The latter. But yeah, he just, there was not as much energy. He was trying to be supportive of the players when they came over to him, like, and stuff like that. But everyone just kind of seemed a little bit despondent, a little bit like like they know, right? Like that they know that this is over. Like and that's what you can, not right now, but soon enough you'll be able to find what I wrote on CenterDaily.com.
Why? Where is it now?
It's being edited. But what this is a lost season where everyone tries to find, for lack of a better phrase, a reason to give a shit. Like it's just they're all fighting to find a purpose, and they've done to their credit, they've done a good job of that. Right? The effort is there. Terry Smith has said as much over the last 2 games. But right now they're all looking to maintain that purpose and to keep going week in and week out, because everything they wanted to do is gone and has been gone for a few weeks. Everything they wanted to achieve is gone. And for most of these guys, there is something next where goals will be attainable again. Guys will go to the NFL where they'll have team goals, individual goals. Guys will go to a different school where they can try and, win as part of a different program. Guys that will come back will try to be a part of the 2026 Penn State team that turns.
Maybe one of them will end up at Ohio State next year.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But like, we'll talk about Jazz Coleman in a second. But they're all like fighting for that purpose and fighting to stay in this moment, because it would be really, really easy to just be done and to just say, "Nah, I'm good," because there's now less than a month left. There are 4 games left, and the next one is against the number 2 team in the country. And it's not going to get any easier. And even the team's best matchups, like I don't know, they could go 3-9, point blank. They could go winless in the Big Ten. They could go 3-9.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned kind of trying to hold this thing together, and Terry Smith's trying, and he's trying his damnedest to do it, and the players are playing hard for him, and that's a credit to him and a credit to the kind of the pride, and um, it's not going to be easy the rest of the way. Like, I'm still not convinced that we're not going to see some business decisions being made here down the stretch, and those kinds of things. Yes, these guys have stuff to play for, but I mean, John, this thing is, unless, and to be clear, it's not going to happen, but unless they somehow pull a stunner against Indiana next week.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it.
That team's
there's not
going to
even
go
going
for
to be
the jugular.
like, yeah, oh yeah,
Cincinnati's going to make a statement.
Yes, like there's not even going to be that upset, that marquee moment to this season, and like
there might not be a Big Ten win.
Yeah, maybe Michigan State.
I would hope.
I mean, Rutgers will play them tight. And, I think when you look at the totality of this season and the compilation of talent, and I'll have a story up on my Substack this week. I talked to Dane Brugler of The Athletic, kind of looking at the pro prospects on this team.
Never heard of the outlet before, but Dane is fantastic.
And there are a lot of super talented guys on this team, and you're going to see these guys playing in the NFL. And I think we're going to sit back in April and say, well, why? Like, where was this all year? I think that's kind of how we're probably going to look at it. Penn State was outscored 21-0 in the second half. And, Julian Sand, man, what a superstar. So fun to – I mean, I'll say it, John. It was jarring to watch a high-octane offense after we've been watching this all season.
Well, not even just this. Like, every offense Penn State has faced, like, UCLA was the closest one to that, and neither of us were at that game.
True. Hey, we're watching that one on TV, and you're looking at it, and it's just like the DBs are getting hung out to dry because the pass rush isn't getting there. Sayan's remarkable. These wide receivers are remarkable. Terry Smith doubled down on it and said, these are the two best receivers that Ohio State has had in a really, really good long line of great wide receivers, and so you have all of that, and there are no answers. There aren't any answers coming. I think that's the other side of this. I think we all maybe thought, okay, after that second bye week that they had last week, maybe something will be different. Maybe this is like the galvanizing moment for all these Ohio State guys or all these Ohio guys on the roster. Yeah, I think it was just a hollow storyline. And you mentioned, all the games that you've covered between these two teams. And my first trip out here was the Tom Bradley game in 2011 when Penn State won.
Last time they had an interim head coach, I believe, against
John, that's the only time I've seen this team win a game out here. So think about that, right? We're in 2025. I've seen it win out here once. And my memories of covering games out here, it's, watching players come off the field in tears. I mean, we saw it with Sean Clifford. We saw it here with Drew Aller. I remember Pat Fryermuth walking off with a towel draped over his head years ago. I just remember these guys being stunned. I remember Saquon Barkley being stunned here. And there wasn't even that today because it was like at the end of it, the number one team showed why they're the number one team in the country. And Penn State, they put up a really nice fight in the first half. And I think there are a couple of decisions there we can dive into. But at the end of the day, the better team pulled away and they did so handily.
Yeah, I think that is one of the big things I'm taking away from this. Real quick, I want to shout out Ed in the chat who mentioned that Vandy only lost by 3, which makes me very happy for undisclosed reasons. And also saw that Miami lost today, which is as someone
I've seen nothing, John. So you're breaking this news to me.
I only checked it because he said that. I was like, that's definitely not right. They scored 21 unanswered in the fourth quarter. Seeing Mario Cristobal lose, as everyone who watches this podcast knows, will bring a smile to my face. But yeah, I think what you said is the difference this time. They weren't, they were sad. They don't want to lose these games, right? But they weren't devastated. There was not this emotional letdown of this game. It was like, yeah, they won. Of course they did, right? And I see it in the chat here. Robert says we have to face it. Ohio State is better at every position group. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Except running back, I would say. Or I would rather have, it's close, but I'd rather have Kaytron Allen instead of Bo Jackson and CJ Donaldson. Kaytron and Nick Singleton instead of Bo Jackson and CJ Donaldson, but that one's close. But yeah, this is this is the rare instance where it is, Penn State just got outplayed by a team that is far and away better than it. And we can say that losing Drew Aller and James Franklin getting fired, contributed to this. But at the end of the day, I don't think either of those guys make any difference in this game. I don't think either of them help Penn State. I mean, Drew Aller's obviously significantly better than Ethan Grunkemeyer and would have helped somewhat. But this offense was designed around him being a superstar, which is a level that he just didn't get to. And so no matter what happened, this was what this was going to look like. Like I don't think, barring Tony Rojas not getting hurt, and even then, who's to say, I don't think anything could have changed this outcome today, and we were all kind of just staring in the face from the beginning of the year and maybe didn't realize it.
Well, so here's the other part with this. You mentioned that Ohio State's better just about at every position group. This was the star-studded recruiting class of Aller, Singleton, Abdul Carter. Obviously, like those guys, aren't all here anymore. But you were able to bring the band back for this year. It was supposed to be different. Deny Dennis Sutton. Again, you took your swing with your big recruiting class, just simply not good enough. To me, and again, this is not why Penn State lost the game, but I asked Harry Smith afterward about Penn State's opening drive, right? They're moving the ball, which you're like, oh, okay, like Kaytron Allen gets a run. Like they're showing that they can move the ball a little bit, which was a big win at that point.
When they did it with a bunch of heavy personnel going, two extra offensive linemen out there.
Yes, came out, 7-0 linemen. And so they run on third down, and I'm thinking, okay, this is 4-down territory. They're setting it up, running on third, going to go for it on fourth. And they come out and punt. And I'm like, you're at like the Ohio State 42. Again, you're what, a 20, 21 point underdog.
Yes.
Your season is completely done, dead in the water. Truly, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
If not then, when?
And so I asked Terry Smith, and again, it's not why they lost, but like my head was just so absolutely blown by that. And as I'm sure many people, their heads were blown. And he said, yeah, we came into the game thinking, field position was going to be significant. And like hindsight didn't matter because they came out and marched 90 yards down the field for a touchdown. It's like, yeah, I think just about, probably 100 of the 105,000 people that were in the stadium would have been saying, hey, yeah, this high octane offense, they're going to do this. So yeah, that to me was baffling. And John, you're losing. You're not paying attention. You're starting to gaze off in the distance.
I'm listening to you.
Watching?
I am just seeing that Vanderbilt almost recovered an onside kick with a chance to win it late, which is crazy because that was a
John. Need you to lock in, man. Need you to lock in.
I'm locked in. I'm listening to you. But I think a lot of what you said is true. I think part of the issue is, despite what these players say about their focus and about like playing for each other and all of that, how do you not let your mind drift, right? How do you not, to what you said about me?
You're looking at the TV, yeah.
Right. Like, how do you not let those things seep in? And I think they can say, and I believe them, I just don't know that it's truly 100% possible to be focused on the task at hand in that way. And I know I'm not a reliable narrator on this. I just want to say, because I saw in the chat.
Are you saying the 1-0 narrative's a lie, John?
No, I'm just saying that A.J. Harris hate is popping up, which not a great game. I think most of the Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith stuff was Zion Tracy and Elliott Washington.
Game.
Yeah,
tough,
like not a great game. I actually thought A.J. Harris played pretty well, all things considered. Pulled against Max Clare. Clare?
Yeah.
How to pronounce that one. Not great there, but like,
probably going to be a touchdown.
There's something else you said I want to address too. You mentioned like the pass rush not getting home, and to me, like all of these issues defensively right now stem from that. Zane Durant and Deny Dennis Sutton were supposed to be one of, if not the best defensive tackle, defensive end, pass rushing duo in the country from an interior exterior perspective, and neither's been good. Deny Dennis Sutton has not been able to step into the role once held by Abdul Carter, which I think shows how good Carter was. Zane Durant has vanished for long stretches this year, which is a shame because I do think the pass rush ability is there. It's just he's getting swallowed up in the running game and he's not making frequent enough impact. And because of that, the corners have to cover for longer. The linebackers who are not like, again, no Tony Rojas is unbelievably damaging to this defense. They have to cover for longer when they can barely cover at all. And you're left with what's out there. Julian Sand having forever to throw, Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate getting all the time in the world to get open, and this is what that looks like.
So here's the stat line, John. Jeremiah Smith, 6 targets, 6 catches, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns, long of 57. Carnell Tate, 5 targets, 5 receptions, 124 yards, 1 touchdown, also a long of 57.
Oh, I remember there was one other thing you said, by the way, about the punt. I don't know if you heard me. We were not sitting next to each other during the game. I made a noise when I saw them punt, and it was a very loud, like, guffaw-type laugh. Like, I just could not believe – you know more than anyone, and everyone who listens and watches the show knows, punting in general is just not something I would ever do. Punting in that situation, like, just go home. Just say you don't want to win. That's all.
I believe I said kind of loudly, like, that's a loser play. Just in terms of, like, you're not playing to win the game. You're playing to lose the game at that point.
I was sitting near some Penn State staff members, and I think I used some different words. I don't know if
Well, you know what, John? I did at one point when I came up to the press box after pregame, and I was talking to somebody, and I always forget here that so I'm actually sitting in the visiting coach's booth here, which is where they put Jim Knowles on the Jumbotron in the fourth quarter when Penn State's getting it absolutely taken to him, and the crowd response. That was really the only time all day that the crowd started booing Jim Knowles because they put him on the Jumbotron. Then they cut to Matt Patricia on the sideline.
I missed that because I was going down onto the field.
I posted a video of it on X.
Okay, I'll check it out because that's brutal. Like, that is like...
And, like, I mean, it was certainly, like, not your... like the people around me, it was not the classiest moment. We were talking about that. Of, like, Ohio State, like, do you have to do that? But also, like, again, it was entertaining, whatever. But Knowles is just very much locked in, like... I don't know. Maybe knows it's happening. Maybe doesn't. I don't know. We probably won't get a chance to talk to the guy for a long time to ask. But they do that.
I think we'll probably get a chance with next year's staff.
We'll talk to him. We'll talk to him in the off season. I'll ask, hey, excuse me, do you remember on November 1st?
Or excuse me, what do you think of your new boss?
It'll be like what I did that with Mike Ursich several years ago. And I was like, you got cut off on Zoom 2 months ago. But
I think I was the one who got cut off. I asked him the question. That still makes me mad.
But no, where I was going with the Knowles thing was I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, like the Knowles response, like there really wasn't one. This was like pregame. And I was like, I don't know. Like I thought the fans would be more hostile. And with that, he came walking out of the bathroom pregame and right by me. And I was like, hi, Jim. How are you?
There have been worse instances with beat writers
100%.
and this the shared bathroom in this press box.
It's not a problem for me in the ladies' room, but that shared men's bathroom, there are some stories that we cannot tell on this podcast.
I think I can safely just refer to it as the John Donovan incident and leave it at that. Yes, there are some stories about things being said that are very funny. Just again, because it's going to get brought up, and it's getting brought up in the chat. I already see it because he was at the game today. He rang the bell and whatnot. Urban Meyer is not going to be Penn State's next head coach.
See, John, you're the one who even acknowledged that they'd have a conversation. I just don't give it oxygen. But here's
the thing. You have to acknowledge when something happened, right? Like, that is true. Like, there was a conversation. And everyone came out of it deciding, no, it's fine.
Don't give me, just John, we're moving on. Urban Meyer was here today to get honored. There was somebody else also here today.
Saw Jay Paterno here on the
that
Ohio
was not
State
the thing I was expecting to see today. As I turned my head, I was like, "Oh, that's Jay." Okay.
I looked up. We were on the field pregame, and I just saw I turned and I saw you recording something. I was like, "What's she recording?" Like, because it's like kind of aimed toward me.
He's flabbergasted that.
Well, no, I was. You were aiming the camera like toward me. I was like, "What did I do?" You know what I mean? Because you were known for these things.
Well, because this is the same the Chick-fil-A cow outfit, the top that you wore at the.
See, you're proving my point. Not full outfit, just the hoodie. But I turned and I saw Jay walking toward me to walk past me. I'm like, okay. And he stayed on that side of the field. From when I say that side, I mean like field goal post toward the Ohio State sideline. As long as I saw him, I didn't see him head over to the Penn State sideline. He's been wearing a lot of Nike recently too.
He always wears Nike. I mean, he was going down toward the big noon set when I saw him because that was set up down in the corner.
He's still sort of close to Urban Meyer the entire time.
And there's a relationship with Urban, and then he did go out to I saw him give Alan Zamitis a hug right away, and kind of said some rah-rah, I think some kind of thing like that. But Yeah.
There's so many things I want to say. But
So there's that. There's also some other dignitaries here today, John. Someone else that folks are interested in the name of Mr. Brian Hartline,
who we saw on his golf cart going up onto the field, and then I saw on the field post game.
Yeah.
Brian Hartline, what did I say? Number 27 on the list. If there's 40 on the list,
Yeah.
Another person that right now I don't anticipate being Penn State's next head coach.
Yeah, I mean, so I just want to make sure we hit on this because sometimes we say things like the buyout, they don't land.
Before we hit on such a thing, let's take a moment for a brief break from our sponsors. The rivalries, the marching bands, the upsets. Saturdays just got way more fun. College football is back. Think you know the game? Put your knowledge to the test with DraftKings Sportsbook and turn your picks into big payouts. With live betting, rivalry week odds boosts, and more, DraftKings Sportsbook has everything you need to own every Saturday. And here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DISPATCH. That's code DISPATCH for new customers and get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. I gotta tell you, that was, again, I feel like we're really hitting my stride with these. Very fitting that I would be the one to read the DraftKings ad read, given my noticing of Vanderbilt losing by exactly 3 points earlier.
Speaking of fitting, can we talk about your outfit today, John?
Yes.
And our friends over at Robeck. You can use code TND20. That's TND20 as in the Nittany Dispatch 20 to save 20% off your first purchase over at Robeck. You can get the John. I'm pretty sure it's not called the Chick-fil-A cow top.
It is
but
not.
That's what I call it. That's what some other folks on the beat call it. It's a nice John. Actually, you had a full Robeck outfit on yesterday too on the flight.
And I had I had Robeck joggers on today. I wear the khaki joggers. I wear them to work. Like they're nice.
I don't think I've ever seen John wear jeans. To come to think of it,
that's probably true. I just
do
don't
you
like
own jeans?
Oh, for sure. I just don't. I like wearing joggers. They're comfortable.
If Robeck doesn't make them, you don't own them.
That's kind of where we're at because, as you said, I wore the Robeck joggers on the flight yesterday. Wore a Robeck hoodie. Wore a different Robeck hoodie to the game today. Different Robeck joggers. More of a less casual jogger to the game today. The ones yesterday are the comfiest pair of joggers I've ever owned, and I can't recommend them enough to people who want to get that discount from Robeck.
Well, John, I'm going to continue my thought now on Brian Hartline because I want to make sure that we hit on it. I think two important distinctions about Hartline and why John has him as candidate number 27. And I don't think that he's the next head coach. I like Brian Hartline. I like what he's done with the receivers. It's remarkable. You look at these guys year after year. It's a factory. It's a wide receiver factory. It's also been like the measuring stick of like, oh, look at these guys. Look at Penn State's receiving core. Like that's been the other layer of the Franklin tenure. But this is Ryan Day, and this is Ryan Day's offense. And Brian Hartline is the offensive coordinator. But guess who's probably doing a lot of play calls? Mr. Ryan Day. So you have that part of it, right? You also have the other side, which is the head coach's role in this day and age. You have to be a CEO. And the role of a general manager is something else that's going to be instrumental in Penn State's head coaching search because you need a really strong GM to manage the budget of your roster, right? They're dealing with the bankroll.
That Penn State will hire a strong GM.
100%. That is a massive, massive part of this. And ideally, you want a head coach who is, I'm going to say the word, aligned with the GM, work closely together. Like it's almost like some of these guys are kind of like a package deal at this point. I'm saying that because the second part, we don't know what kind of CEO Brian Hartline is because he's never done it before. That's the other part. And it's like, how is this guy going to be in front of the media? How is he going to be in front of boosters? How is he at delegating and doing all the other things that a head coach has to do? Again, that's why I think Penn State just can't take that jump because we don't know that. I think Brian Hartline either has to go somewhere else first, smaller job, or stay here, be ultra selective, continue to crush it, and maybe in a couple years he's getting that head coaching opportunity. So that's all I want to say on that.
If he got offered the Penn State head coaching job, he would take it. Point blank,
Stop.
Period. I'm not guessing. But he's not going to get offered it. No, I'm just saying because again, you're seeing people say that he's not going to take it.
Stop riling people up. I don't think Ohio State fans have to worry about losing their guy to Penn State. I'll say that.
No, they don't. They have to worry about losing him to like Tulane or wherever. I think it's very funny the thought that
Syracuse?
people think Sure. The thought that people don't think an offensive coordinator wouldn't take a $9 million raise to go be a head coach somewhere. Just very funny to me. It's also wrong. But yeah, we can dive into the coaching search a little bit here if you want to, because as always, this is the main focus of where this program is right now and where things stand. Obviously, Matt Rule, since the last time we recorded, we do need to address this. Matt Rule, since the last time we recorded, signed.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
There's something else really important from this game that we didn't talk about. Two things. One, Liam Clifford had a new role today, and boy,
yeah, I think you're overestimating the importance of that.
So somehow Penn State went to the bye week and said, "You know what we need to do, guys? You know what we need to do? We need some trickery here. So let's have some Liam Clifford Wildcat usage. Sure, why not? I mean, this season's had it all, so why not?" So I want to touch on that because we saw that. The other thing I wanted to touch on is I mentioned earlier, and this is a good a segue into the coaching search. Players that it's going to be important for Penn State to try and keep moving forward. There was an Ohio native on the field today who recovered a fumble that kept Penn State in the game in the first half, none other than Mr. Chaz Coleman. John, I'm going to make my list this week and make it, public of the top priorities for Penn State to keep and who they really need to target. It's going to be tough. I mean, again, we're fully
number 1, 2, and 3.
This roster to reset. But Chaz Coleman here today, did you notice anything about the way he was kind of walking around here? Did anything strike you or not strike you? What were your thoughts?
Noticed all the people in scarlet and gray talking to him after the game, tell you that much.
Were they saying anything, John?
Pretty clearly. My ears work.
What did they say? Tell us. Tell the group.
No,
share with the group.
No. But he's going to be someone that Ohio State and everyone in the country is good. They're going to target him. And if he goes in the portal, he's going to be one of the most desirable defensive ends in the country. He's that good. And he should be. He's got a chance to be a special pass rusher, the kind that Penn State, frankly, doesn't have this year. The kind that Abdul Carter was for the last couple of years. So it is what it is, right? I don't know that there's a ton there other than with someone like that. You just kind of have to wait and see. And see what happens. But you mentioned
I want to mention just how these guys are all trying to handle this stretch right now. I think it's really interesting because you're okay, how do again you're trying to get ready for a game every week, but internally between these players and their team, right? That's family, agent, whoever's in their corner. Okay, am I staying? Am I going? What am I looking for? How much do I need? How much do I want? Do I care about that? Do I not? That's all what's going on right now. Do I want to stay? Do I want to go? And again, credit to Terry Smith for keeping this train somewhat on the tracks, but this is hard. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with a lot of these younger guys, and I would expect Coleman certainly the most sought after of these younger guys.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Matt Rule signs a 2-year extension with Nebraska. That raises his buyout to $15 million.
What day was that, Thursday?
I think it was Thursday.
No.
So how do I say this? Right now, I believe that Penn State is essentially treating this as is treating the situation as Matt Rule wants to be at Nebraska. I do not believe, though, that him signing an extension changes anything from a buyout standpoint, right? Just like it wouldn't if some way, somehow they would come around on Curt Cignetti and Curt Cignetti would come around on Penn State. $15 million is not going to deter them in either direction. That being said, right now, I'll have a new coaching board up on SenderDaily.com on Monday. I think in all likelihood, Matt Rule will not be in the top 5 right now. And with the way, again, this is tough. We're constantly having conversations with people throughout the week. It is a very nebulous process that they're probably close to halfway done, but not halfway done with at this point. I do not anticipate them naming a head coach until the regular season is over, to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the names that I would have at the top of the list are the names that people don't want to hear because people are adamant that Penn State's trying to swing. It's Mike Elko, right? Mike Elko is at the top of the list, and until otherwise, he just is, right? Until there's a firm no, Mike Elko is who I would have at the top of the list. That being said, I'm taking the field when given the opportunity to pick any candidate or the field because I don't think any candidate has higher than a 12-ish, 10% chance right now. right?
How did you settle on that number?
10%. I wanted it to be more than 10, right? And so I think, but there will be other names like Jeff Brom is kind of on the periphery of everything right now. Trying to think who else. It has been a long day.
Matt Campbell.
Everybody. Matt Campbell, I think, is on the periphery of it as well right now, and there will be conversations there. Brent Key is someone that I would anticipate them having conversations with. I'm trying to think of names. They're going. Yeah, Clark Lee is another one. Thank you, Vandy, who, again, lost by 3, specifically 3, as 3.5-point underdogs today. Clark Lee is a name that will be on the periphery of the list, too. Everyone is sort of on the periphery right now, other than, to me, Elko, who is the focus and who is, again, far from a foregone conclusion that they will hire him, that he wants it, whatever, all of that. But as things stand, I think that is, if I had to put a leader, it would be him. With the same caveats I think that I've given in the past. I do not anticipate Penn State hiring a non-head coach or someone who doesn't have head coach experience. I do not anticipate Joe Brady being a part of this process. He's someone that has been pointed to a lot.
I think there's one guy they maybe could come around to, depending how this goes when you say coordinators.
Who's that?
I'm not going to say I'm not going to say Brian Hartline.
Is it Will Stein?
Your boy, Will Stein. I think that could be in play. Again,
I think Will Stein could be in play if there's an associate head coach that is a former head coach or a coordinator that is there will be people on staff that have had head coaching experience, and I think the list and to be clear, I still think they got to hear no from quite a few people until they get to Will Stein.
No, and that's my thing. This is a matter of how the dominoes fall.
For what it's worth.
26 and 27.
Yeah, kind of.
I think the Elko piece to this is fascinating because it goes back to what we've hit on all along, and it's the timeline and what happens if, they end up at this situation where A&M gets first round bye, and how long do you wait? And you can't wait. Like, I'm firmly in the camp of you got to get this thing done end of November, early December at the latest. So yeah, you have that. I mean, obviously Elko being a Jersey guy, I think there's that attraction to it, right? I mean, I think that's exciting. But also, is A&M going to just let them walk? The program just throwing money left and right at it. I struggle to see that.
This is part of the problem, right? Why it's like that low percentage. A&M can match them financially easily. It has to be a decision from Elko to leave A&M, and there are reasons to do that. Fully understand why he would want to do that. Expectations are really high at A&M, and he's not, like you said, is not a Texas guy.
Is this a better job than A&M?
I think it's a similar one. I think it's a similar one. And so I think that's what matters more. And so then you can get to the ancillary factors of pay is equal and all that stuff. That being said, they play well enough. There's no way A&M lets him leave, right? They go 11-1, 12-0 or whatever. They'll shoot money out of that fire hose and pay the man $50 million a year.
Here comes the war chest. Yeah.
That's hyperbole, of course. I just don't want anyone to aggregate that. But they'll pay up. And so I think that if I had to guess, this search moves past him at some point. But until it does, he's the guy that I continue to monitor. But yeah, is that a good place to leave this at this point? I think we've covered a lot of ground. We'll be back again Tuesday live at 7 p.m. And live postgame following Indiana too, which we don't have a kick time for that yet. I would anticipate that being noon or 3:30 though, as things stand. But yeah,
a night game would just be mean.
It won't be. It's just I think it's just a matter of whether or not it's big noon.
You can't do that. You can't do that to us.
If it's big noon, it'll be at noon. If it's not big noon, it'll be at 3:30. I think this is probably a good place to leave it.
Lots of content. My gut reactions are up over on Inside the Lions on my Substack. I'm working on a follow-up piece. Lots of stuff coming this week, both on the team, the coaching story. It feels like you're covering two different things at once right now, admittedly, because
it doesn't feel like we are covering two things at once. We literally had
the games don't really matter.
We had a 20-minute conversation about a game, and then I had to try and hard pivot us to also their next head coach. But yeah, I think that is a major part of this. If you want to read all of that great writing from Audrey, you can find it at insidethelions.substack.com. You can find her on Blue Sky if you search audreysnyder.bsky.social. You can find her on Twitter at @oddsnyder4, and you can find me on Blue Sky at johnsauber.bsky.social. You can find me on Twitter at johnsauber, and all of my writing at centerdaily.com. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that thumbs up button. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts after the fact, don't forget to leave us 5-star rating and reviews. Those really help us out. Again, the subscribing on YouTube is excellent. It's wonderful. We appreciate everyone who's listening live, watching live, commenting in the chat. We always appreciate it. I've seen some questions pop up here. We'll try to get to those on Tuesday, so pop in with your question on Tuesday when we talk at 7 p.m. live on YouTube. Until then, This was lost 5 in a row for Penn State. We will be here to cover all of them the rest of the way of the season. Who knows how many there will be?
Who's to say?
Yes. But until Tuesday, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.